Welcome everyone to this JustAIWorld Explainer. We've got some massive, fast-paced updates straight from the tech desk today. On July 21st, 2026, Google basically dropped an absolute bombshell on the AI industry. We're talking about a major new lineup of models and one industry-shaking announcement that has literally everyone talking. So we're going to cover the two biggest stories from this drop, and we are sticking strictly to the facts. Let's get right into it.
Okay, let's dive into this. Here's a quick rundown of today's explainer. First, we'll overview the July 2026 Google drop. Then, we'll unpack the total powerhouse that is Gemini 3.6 Flash, followed by the highly specialized Flash-Lite and Cyber models. After that, we really need to ask an important question. Where exactly is Gemini 3.5 Pro? And finally, we're wrapping up with the huge news that Gemini 4 pre-training has officially begun.
Section 1. The July 2026 Google drop. 3 new models and a major announcement.
So, let's set the stage for what DeepMind just unleashed into the wild. Mark your calendars, July 21st, 2026. That was the day Google officially dropped 3 highly distinct models. We're looking at Gemini 3.6 Flash, Gemini 3.5 Flash-Lite, and Gemini 3.5 Flash Cyber. That's a trio of releases, and each one is designed to attack a completely different segment of the AI market. Let's drill right down into the data, starting with the absolute biggest release of the day.
Section 2. Gemini 3.6 Flash unveiled, the high-volume production workhorse.
Now, Google is calling this one their new workhorse, meaning it's meant for that heavy, everyday lifting. And the price really reflects that. While the input cost remains rock steady at $1.50 per million tokens, Google has aggressively slashed the output cost from $9 all the way down to $7.50 per million tokens. That is a serious discount for developers who are running high-volume queries.
But hey, the efficiency gains don't just stop at pricing. According to the Artificial Analysis Index, Gemini 3.6 Flash uses 17% fewer output tokens compared to the previous 3.5 Flash. What that means is it actually generates answers more efficiently. So it's cheaper per token and it uses fewer tokens overall. That's a massive win for production environments.
Okay, now let's talk performance, because honestly, the jumps here are staggering. On the DeepSWE benchmark, which tests highly complex software engineering tasks, 3.6 Flash rocketed from a previous score of 37% all the way up to 49%. For a production-tier model, a 12-point jump in complex coding tasks is absolutely phenomenal.
And the momentum just continues with its agentic capabilities, meaning the AI's ability to act independently. On the OSWorld computer use benchmark, performance improved from 78.4% to a highly capable 83%. Simply put, this model is getting incredibly proficient at navigating computer interfaces entirely on its own.
To finish off this rapid stat run, the SWE Bench Pro score climbed from 55.1% to 58.7%. Across the board, whether we're talking about coding or computer use, 3.6 Flash is showing serious, easily measurable upgrades over its predecessor.
Now, what's really interesting about this is the knowledge cutoff. You see, the previous model was frozen in time back in January 2025. Gemini 3.6 Flash brings a massive 14-month jump, advancing the knowledge cutoff all the way to March 2026. This means the model is packed with well over a year of fresh, updated information.
Under the hood, this thing is literally a developer's dream. You still get that massive 1 million token input context window, but now it boasts up to 64,000 maximum output tokens for those incredibly deep, detailed responses. It retains its native multimodal input, and crucially, it has a built-in computer use tool available directly via the Gemini API and Gemini Enterprise.
And we're already seeing the impact in the real world. Early adopters like the AI platforms Hebbia and Harvey are actively reporting significant improvements. They're seeing much better document parsing, enhanced chart analysis, and dramatically improved report drafting. The real-world utility of 3.6 Flash is already being proven as we speak.
Section 3. Flash-Lite and Cyber models, expanding the Gemini ecosystem.
We're shifting gears now to some highly targeted tools. And to brilliantly illustrate where Gemini 3.5 Flash-Lite fits in, just think about the start price difference here. While 3.6 Flash is $1.50 in and $7.50 out, Flash-Lite is an incredibly budget-friendly 30 cents for input and just $2.50 for output. It is purpose-built for high-throughput, low-latency tasks. Think massive document processing and rapid agentic search.
Then, we have the third release,
Gemini 3.5 Flash Cyber. Now this is a fascinating pivot. It's a highly specialized security model. It's been fine-tuned for one very specific, highly technical purpose, which is finding and fixing software vulnerabilities. It's essentially an AI cybersecurity expert right in a box.
But there is a catch. You can't just go and download this right now. Gemini 3.5 Flash Cyber is currently locked behind a wall. It's entirely restricted to a limited access pilot program, available exclusively for governments and Google's trusted partners. That definitely adds a layer of intrigue regarding just how powerful this security tool really is.
Section 4. Where is Gemini 3.5 Pro, the missing flagship?
So, we've talked about all the Google's victories today, but there's a huge elephant in the room, and it's the question literally everyone in the industry is asking right now. Where is the flagship? Where on earth is Gemini 3.5 Pro?
Well, the facts are quite simple, though they do create a bit of tension. Gemini 3.5 Pro was not launched in this announcement. The flagship model has unfortunately missed its launch target again, and Google acknowledges it simply isn't ready to ship. Right now, it remains stuck in the partner testing phase.
Section 5. Gemini 4 pre-training begins. Looking to the future.
Let's move to our final story and see how this builds out. Just when you think the delay of the Pro model might cast a shadow, Google drops a massive revelation. In the exact same update, they confirmed that pre-training for the next generation, Gemini 4, has officially started. So they aren't waiting around. The gears are already turning on the next major leap.
And they definitely aren't being quiet about it either. Google explicitly described this as their most ambitious pre-training run yet. I mean, when a company with the sheer compute power of Google uses the phrase most ambitious, it speaks volumes about the scale and resources they're throwing into the next phase of this AI arms race.
So what does this all mean? The crucial takeaway is this. Google just delivered a masterclass in AI momentum. With 3.6 Flash completely dominating benchmarks at a lower cost and the monumental Gemini 4 already in training, it leaves us with one massive question. How will the rest of the AI industry respond to this massive flex? That wraps up today's Explainer. Thank you so much for joining us. Make sure you subscribe to JustAIWorld, and we will see you next time.